Hi colleagues, this is a short video of how the SEEDS activity report works. It's pretty user-friendly, so I'm going to kind of blow through it pretty fast. So SEEDS is our strategic plan. SEEDS is for success, employee empowerment, employability, diversity, and service. And we, all of us, everybody on campus, I don't care if you're working in facilities or you're working in automotive or you're working in financial aid or whatever, all of us have opportunities to operationalize or make the strategic plan happen. So, and when we do, we want to capture that information, that data, so that we can analyze it and see what we're doing right and what we need to do better. So here's a form, which hopefully you've noticed that we have the grants arch here on the sides of it. Thank you, Richard. We're all very happy to have our now famous grants arch. So the first thing I want you to notice as we look at this is right now, you can only see a handful of questions and you go, wow, this really is easy. There's only 4 questions. This survey branches, and so when you get to questions that are kind of like a fork in the road, do you go left or do you go right? Once you choose which direction you're going in, it'll open up some more questions. So it's a little bit longer than that, but again, it's pretty user-friendly. I think you'll be okay with this. So I'm going to use an example of the faculty doing student appreciation. So back on December 14th, we had student appreciation, and that was the name of our event, student appreciation, right? Which we try to do every semester. I think we missed last spring because, I don't know, the pandemic, fuzzied our brains. This would be faculty. In this particular case, you would put whoever hosting is in here, whatever is appropriate. And then, do you know how many people, or do I have an estimate? So here's an example where it's going to branch. Now, I happen to have a number, but let me show you an estimate. So this opens up, and then you have some ranges in here. So, for example, if we were talking about when we had the ribbon cutting for the Lucy Bell Mall building, and all those people came, I'd say we had 100 to 200 people, wouldn't you? Okay, so so you have that, but we didn't count them. We didn't make them sign in, so no. However, this case, I do have a sign-up sheet because, of course, we did an online raffle, so it was online. I know exactly. We had 87 people that participated, okay? Now it's opened up more because it had that first branch and said, now what, okay? So the location for this was online. We had an online raffle, but the Lucy Bell Mall was a cyber cafe. It was out in the parking lot. It was at the Lucy Bell Mall and everything, whatever. Funds. Now, in this particular case, it could be something a little different because we actually had $540 that we donated in gift cards. However, it was absolutely donated. It was not any money that came out of the college's funds. It was collected by the faculty and donated to the gift cards for the students. But you would have things, so like Patrick had a workshop for dual credit coordinators, and he very generously had little goodie bags for him, and then he, of NMSU swag, but then he also had some sandwiches from Subway. So those are the kinds of things. And then what goal? And you see we're at the end, but it's going to branch again, and you're going to like this. So here's the 4 goals in the SEEDS strategic plan. And you're like, well, I don't know which one it goes in. Well, that's fine. You can look. Here's goal 1. And, oh, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? I don't know. Maybe let's look at goal 2. Oh, let's see. No, those don't seem right. Goal 3. Nope, still not there. Goal 4. Let me go back to goal 1. Okay, there we go. Oh, Aggie Life. All right, I'm going to call those gift cards Aggie Life. Okay, then you want to put in here your rationale. Why did I choose goal 1 and Aggie Life? Well, we had a raffle for gift cards for students held online. I didn't do that very well. It sounds like I'm holding the students online. And I would go on and I'd say, you know, what was the goal? Was it successful? So what could be repeated? How can we improve it? So it just so happens when we did this one, 50% of the people who won gift cards were students from other campuses. Now, that's fine. They can deserve to win them. They are enrolled here. We're happy they're here. They increase our enrollment and we get money for them. However, 50%, goodness sakes, that's not right. So we would have to figure out what we need to do next time to make sure that it does this a little better. And we would write all of this out. I'm not going to write it out. You can figure this out. And then, sorry, you have, does it align with a second goal? So maybe you have a choice. You can only do two, a primary and a secondary. But the same thing happens here. You can click and it opens up and you can choose and you can go, no, over here. Maybe it's extension and outreach. Maybe it's supporting the university system, that sort of thing. In this particular case, I'm going to say no. Okay, so I'm done. I'm going to close that branch. And then the last thing is, do you have documentation to upload? And if you say yes, then it says you can upload up to 3 documents, and it'll say there. So, for example, when we have a career fair, and there's an opportunity to operationalize the strategic plan, we would have a flyer for it. Or the dual enrollment credit workshop that Patrick had. Or in our case, we had the sign-up sheet. And so we could do that. Now, just for time's sake, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to submit. And there you go. That was it. Now, let me show you how cool this is. When we come over here and we look at responses, so I put some in just so we can see how powerful this is. I can, of course, click in Excel and get the data, and I can just imagine a year's worth. We'll have lots of things. If we have people, for example, that come on campus to do their training, but that's still outreach for us, community outreach that we've allowed people to use our facilities. Okay, and so in a normal year, that's not in a pandemic, we have a lot of people who come on campus and use our facilities. And so there's an example of how much data we can collect here. So we could look at the Excel spreadsheet. We don't need to because these are all bogus anyway. And we can kind of look through in the results, and you can see, it can tell us, and we can look, we can say need more details, etc. But as we go along, we can say, oh, how, you know, have an estimate or use an exact number, and here we go. And then it's like, oh, here's your 21 to 50, here's your more, there's your Lucy Belmont, that sort of thing. And then we come along, and then we go, activity aligns with goal 1. So with which goal? Okay, so the blue one is goal 1. So far we've had 7. We haven't had any in research, but we've had extension and outreach and strengthening the university. Now when we come down here to look at goal 1, we can say this is develop culture of Aggie life. Okay, and then this is offer an array of academics. Here is our enrollment and retention, and then, no, this is increase in retention. I can't remember what that was. Increase enrollment, this is retention. So one of the things is we can see right now, based on what I put in, we got plenty of stuff for Aggie Life, but what are we doing about enrollment and in retention? That's where these pies, and of course, once we have lots of data, they'll be more representative. And of course, like I said, I pretty much just entered some bogus things in here. So there is the SEEDS activity report and how it works. If you have any questions, you can certainly contact me. This is Beth, and I can help you, but it is, of course, pretty user-friendly.